Well, good evening, and here we are in the early 60s of this 100 days, and just missed a day yesterday celebrating Sue's birthday, and the day just kind of disappeared. But we had a great day, a lot of fun, and managed a lockdown birthday and a few lockdown surprises. So it was fun. But today I was just talking to Matt King actually, and as we were talking about how Jesus said that on this rock I'll build my church. And then we were just chatting about, what's the rock mean and various things. And then I jumped to a famous parable, Jesus's parable. And I've heard lots of interpretations of it, but there was just something that we just chatted about. And I think it's a key for our breakthrough. So this is kind of fresh thought, but the parable. The parable is, the two men that build the house, one on the sand and one on the rock. And a storm comes. And of course, that's the test. That's the test for our foundations when the storm comes. And it's a key. But here's what I just had the thought as we were just talking through this. And obviously, some of it's obvious, the foundation of sand isn't strong, it's not stable, and the foundation of rock is stable, and that's all been well taught. But here's what I realized that sand shifts, it changes, and a rock doesn't. And I was just thinking about breakthrough, and one of the keys to our breakthrough is that we don't keep shifting around. I think that's a lot of what I'm seeing in the world. I'm seeing a storm, and I'm seeing people shifting their allegiance, or saying, hey, we got to go for deconstruct the church, or do this, or shift our theology, or whatever. It's like, no, this is a time to hang tight, to hold on, to stand on the rock and know you're standing on the rock and be determined. I'm not changing the rock I stand on. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm not changing. I want to encourage you, because your breakthrough is related to not changing the subject. And I always remember Bill, who tells the great story about how when he came to Bethel as senior pastor, he had a message. The message was revival, and he just said, I'm not changing the subject. And I think that's what we've got to do. We've got to learn not to change the subject, to find the subject, the theme of our lives, and not change the subject. Sue and I were talking recently about a couple of things. We said, look, we're not changing that. That's not up for sale or for change. We're not changing that. We're not going to change certain things. Whatever happens, God is good. Whatever happens, we're going to look at what God is doing, not what he isn't doing. It's the view that we have and will always have. And I want to encourage you, because the pressure when the storm comes is to change, is to shift, to change the subject, to question our theology, to even question what the church should look like, or whether we need the church, or whether we should go to church. It's like, no, you don't change the subject. When Jesus said to Peter, he said, Peter, who do you say that I am? And Peter said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus said to Peter, on this rock I'll build my church, the rock. Let's not change the subject. Let's stand on the solid rock. Let's check our foundations. Your breakthrough is the other side of walking a life of stability on the rock. Not the shifting sand, not the changing sand, not the sand that, the sand on the seashore changes all the time. But those rocks, there's a rock I stood on 4 years ago with my two little grandsons on a beach. That rock's still there. But the sand that I stood on, it's changed 1,000 times since then. Let's be known as those that stand on the rock that doesn't change, that doesn't shift. His name is Jesus. Your breakthrough is related to standing on the rock and not changing the subject. So I bless you. Have a great rest of your day. See you soon. Bye for now. Bye.